Good evening, everyone. There's a lot of first-time people out here tonight, and I think it's not because they came to see Tim Bucklew here with me.
That's definite.
Sorry, Tim. It's sort of like you're the opening act for.
Oh, don't steal my joke. I already said
Well,
that. I feel like I'm opening up for Brad Paisley tonight or something like that.
Tim's here tonight. I'll back up. The Green Turtle has been so kind to me all year, the last 2 years, this being the second year. Cliff and Patty and the Green Turtle have hosted me for 2 years now to do the show here. Their staff, their waitresses, their bartenders have been tremendous to my wife and I and taking good care of us. And I want to thank them one more time. 2 great seasons. Thank you very, very much. So let's give them a big shout. Thank you. And the second shout out I have to give is the Dominion Post has been off the charts with advertising my show in the Dominion Post. And our recording tonight is, this can be seen in its entirety tomorrow on the DominionPost.com, on their site, DominionPost.com, has our show up starting at 9 o'clock tomorrow, and you can go on, you can watch this show, you can watch any previous shows. It's worked out great. But Dominion Post, I want to thank them. Unbelievable what they've done, and can't thank them enough. So I'll give a shout out to them as well. Tim Bucklew is here. Tim is Morgantown's such a great city. And my wife and I, when I retired, and I said, Kathy, you know, our daughter's in Fort Lauderdale. I said, do you want to move to Florida? She said, Billy, I'll never leave Morgantown. She says, my life was saved here. Ovarian cancer, leukemia. She said, I'll never leave this place. We've coached 7 different places. We've lived across the country. And she said, Morgantown, West Virginia is the best place we've ever lived. One quick, so shout outs to my lovely wife, Kathy. Here's what's crazy. I'll give you a couple stories real quick. Imagine that, Kathy. My wife just got back from Florida, visiting my daughter, son-in-law, and 2 grandchildren. I said, Kathy, why don't you stay another week? She says, Billy, I had to get home because I can't trust you. Surprise, surprise, surprise. So this is even a week ago. She was supposed to fly out last Sunday night. Well, that was the night that the winds were crazy, and the wind blew everything, and the wind was 65 miles an hour on Sunday night. So she flies from Latrobe Airport, Latrobe, Pennsylvania, as a direct flight to Fort Lauderdale. So a week ago, or Sunday, I took her to the airport, checked to make sure that everything was on time. Oh yeah, everything's good. Plane's it's landing on time. Everything's good. I said, "Are you sure? Because I'm gonna leave my wife here. Everything's fine." So I drove back to Morgantown. So being the good guy that I am, I went right to my local spot called the Purple Cow, and I had a couple cold beers and a couple what I call little whispers, just little bit of Crown Royal. That's why they're tiny. And I had a couple of each, and all of a sudden I get a phone call. It's my daughter. Dad, you got to go pick up Mom. I said, Ashley, I can't go pick up Mom. She said, well, her plane was canceled. I said, I've been talking to her all night. She said, I'm telling you, her plane's canceled. I said, well, she didn't tell me that. Ashley got the news ahead of time before Kathy got it. Ashley's in Lauderdale, and she already got it. So I called Ashley back. I said, Ashley, I can't pick your mom up because I've been drinking already. So thank God our son is now in Morgantown because he got out of coaching. He moved to Morgantown. So Maddie Hahn went and picked up Mom. We brought her back and Sunday night, and she got up on Monday morning, and she was able to book a flight out on Tuesday. And she went down there Tuesday, just came back last night, so it's all good. Hey, my first guest is Tim Bucklew. Not to get away from you. Tim was a golf pro manager / whatever, runs the golf at Lakeview. And Lakeview asked me if we could bring him on tonight because there's so many questions going on about Lakeview. Is it being renovated? Is the golf course going to be open? Because all the hotel rooms are shut down out there. Correct, Tim?
That's correct. Just for a brief more time.
Why don't you explain to everybody what's going on at Lakeview and what the deal is out there?
All right, great. Thanks for having me
You're
on,
welcome.
Coach, by the way. Yeah, just a brief thing. As everybody heard through town, we were talking about it was up for, I have a few members here actually here already. It was looked at to be sold. Nothing really happened with that. So going forward, it's going to be a seasonal resort. In the fact that the golf course is still open, weather permitting. I mean, obviously yesterday and today we can't, but last Wednesday we did like 60 rounds. So the golf course is open, weather permitting. The fitness centers remains open as is. The hotel operations has not. So from like November to mid to late March, we're going to run as a seasonal resort, just a golf course and the fitness center being open. And then April through the end of October, we'll run as normal once the season opens. We have golf packages, weddings, and stuff like that. We spent the time doing small things that we can do with nobody in-house, cleaning, redoing some stuff. No big repairs, but there is a lot of little things that needs to be done and a little TLC to the place. Because we are celebrating, it's exciting that we have our 65th year of being in operation this year.
Wow.
So we're having our 65th year at Lakeview. Actually, I'd love for everybody, this is a standing invite from me tonight. On April 11th, we're throwing ourselves a birthday bash to kind of we'll have a schedule of events of what we plan to do this year going forward and stuff like that. So we'd love to have everybody come out to that for that evening. You'll see stuff online with us on our Facebook page, Instagram, stuff like that. But we're having a small birthday party for ourselves April 11th because April 1st is when we're open up full board. You can book rooms online. You can do all that stuff as is starting April 1st.
Starting April 1st.
Yeah.
And April 11th, what day does that fall on?
That's a Thursday evening.
That's a Thursday night?
Yeah.
It's a good party night.
Yeah, a good party night, yeah.
Yeah, that's...
Yeah. But if you know, a lot of you grew up here. I mean, I see a lot of faces here. I grew up here. Lakeview's been a big part of this community for a long time. We put a little survey out online earlier about things that they wanted to see come back. I think everybody remembers we used to do Sunday brunch for all those years. We used to have a comedy club. We used to do things in Legends and the other bars out there, Working Women's Wednesday, Cheat on Thursday, where we went to all the bars in Cheat Lake and stuff like that. So those are little things we're going to sprinkle in this year. We might do a brunch one Sunday every month. We already have Easter and Mother's Day where we do a brunch on those days already, which you can come. We do. I still feel it's a little biased here, but we're one of the better ones with the full brunch for Easter and Mother's Day. We have a Candyland for kids during Easter, so please, give us a call if you'd like to attend that. But we might do the Sunday brunch one Sunday through the summer like that. Might do a comedy club one Friday every month. Just something new to bring back to sprinkle in what we've done in the past. So we got a lot of, in April 11th, we're going to roll all that stuff out, have a schedule of events and all that to get everybody excited. We're excited. We're excited with the new avenue that we're going to. and stuff with the seasonal, I think is a smart idea.
Sure.
With everything that happens in Morgantown that time of the year. We are a golf resort,
Right.
which, golf and weddings is what we survive with through the year.
That's good.
So we're looking forward to it. So I appreciate Billy having me on to say a little bit about that. It makes it even nicer that I get to open for Coach Huggins. That's kind of even bigger
Pretty
than that.
special,
yes,
right? Yeah.
Because I'm sure the crowd is, I don't know about Billy, but I'm sure they're here to see Coach.
Yeah, I got a feeling they're not here because of me, just so you know.
But no, so we're just excited. I appreciate the small time that I had to come on here and say that. And, I offer everybody that if you hear things, there's a lot of stuff you hear around town. That's the bottom line. We're excited. We're open. April 1st, we'll be open full time. And it's like a ski resort, but it's a golf resort.
Gotcha. Tim, thank you.
Hey, thanks.
Appreciate it, man.
Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you for everything you do for me at Lakeview. Huggy Bear, you want to come up and get wired up here? I will continue now. This guy right here, I'll start crying. Special to me. Been so good to me over the years. We've been good friends for 40 years. Coached with him for 10 years. Never coached with him before any other place but WVU. And 1971, I was a freshman at the University of Maryland. And Lefty Drizel, George Raveling, Jim Maloney, and Joe Harrington was the staff at Maryland my freshman year. And there was a kid named Bob Huggins from Ohio that was a senior in high school. And he came to Maryland for an official visit. And lo and behold, Billy Hahn was Bob Huggins' student host for the weekend.
Obviously why I didn't go to Maryland.
That's how long we've known each other. And through the years of our coaching careers, everywhere he was and all the places I was, we always stayed in touch. I had a really good camp going on when I was the head coach at Ohio University. I was an assistant at Ohio U for 6 years, head coach for 3. And I had a big-time camp going on in the summertime. So when I got fired at Ohio University over some bullshit,
I can relate.
you can relate, Ken.
I can relate.
That's why Hugs and I get along so good, because we've been through a lot of similar stuff, just so you know. So I called Huggy Bear. I said, Hugs, I ain't no longer Ohio U. I said, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. I'm sending everybody that comes to my camp, I'm going to tell them the only place to go to camp in the state of Ohio is at University of Cincinnati with my man Huggy Bear. Worked out pretty good, didn't it, Hugs? Huh?
About 6,000 a week.
That's how many you had, didn't you?
Yeah, about 6,000 a week.
6,000 campers a week. Oh, yeah. Camp was huge, man, huh?
We had great facilities. We had 8 courts. So, well, actually we had more. We had the ones down in the old field house. So we probably had 10 or 12 courts. So it worked out good. Cincinnati can be a fun place, too.
Well, that was part of the reason everybody came. The reason they came to...
They weren't coming because of me?
No, no, just so you know, they weren't.
No.
I'm just telling you, because I thought they were coming to Ohio U's camp because of me. They weren't. They were coming here to Ohio U so we could go after camp. We would go in the coach's room, and we would X and O, and I have tubs full of cold beer. We'd sit around and drink our cold beer.
Just a guess, but they probably went for the cold beer.
No doubt about it. They didn't come.
Not the X and O?
Not the X and O, right?
No.
So we X and O a little bit, drank some cold beer. Then we would go uptown on Court Street.
Been there.
Court Street's pretty fun, little fun town and a nice street. We go up there, close a couple bars up there, start all over again the next morning. So, just so you know, they went. Kathy, I'm good. Kathy, see, I got you. All right. I'm gonna get into some things tonight with Hugs. And if anybody has a special question out there tonight that you're curious about, and if he wants to answer it, just come on up and we'll talk about it and we'll discuss it. But I'm going to discuss some things with Hugs tonight so people can understand a little bit more about his philosophy, a lot of things that he has done over all the years he's coached. And I'm going to start with this, Hugs. You're a Hall of Fame coach. You coached a lot of basketball as a head coach. I was a head coach twice, nothing close to even sprinkling. I was like a pebble on the beach compared to what he's done. But would you agree, besides the players that you've gotten, tell me what you look for in a successful staff. What you were looking for in an assistant coach. What were you looking for so your staff would be very good? Because I think you will agree with me. Don't get me wrong. Don't take me. You're as good as your staff is. If you have a good staff, if you have shitty staff people, that comes back and bites you right in the ass. All right, so I want to know and let the people know what's important to you for staff members, because we had a hell of a staff here the 10 years I coached here. Go ahead.
Well, I think, Billy, for me, it's people I know, people I can trust. Obviously, people who know basketball, have been around basketball, who bring something to the table from a coaching standpoint. And then, obviously, both of us started when we were really young.
Yeah.
And you got to know people. If you don't know people, you're not going to get kids unless you cheat. And then I've never gone that direction. I don't have a moral problem with it. I have an ethical problem with it. And the way I coach, I couldn't coach kids if they were holding something over my head. I just couldn't do it. So, actually, Billy, they just hired a new sports editor at the Fairmont paper down there, and she found some study from, I don't know, it was some European study.
Go ahead.
Yeah, that I think I'm outdated. Now, she thought I was outdated.
She thought you were outdated.
Yeah, 22-year-old girl who went to Penn State. And I don't really, don't want to.
And tell me why she thinks you're outdated.
Well, I didn't read the thing. I just read the little bit of it,
right.
and it said that she got this from a study that they did over in Europe,
right,
on coaching.
Yeah, but
first
of all, they did the study that came from Europe.
Well,
they know so much goddamn stuff about basketball. I mean, they're experts over there.
Well, here's what I don't understand, and we're headed that direction, folks. Just got on the rules committee, and I kind of figured that everybody said you need to get on there and really tell people what it really is, because you got a whole bunch of people there who just kind of fall in line and then they push everything through. Here's what I don't understand, Billy. Help me with this. The last time I checked, we invented the game. We made the rules for the game. We started playing the game here. We haven't lost but a couple times, and we got cheated on those.
Right.
So we are, without a question, the best basketball country in the world and have been forever.
Yep.
Why do we want to take their rules?
Makes no sense whatsoever.
we're going to widen the lane. That's going to happen.
That's going to happen. I know
we're going to widen the lane, which if there was any post play left, that destroys post play.
Right.
We're going to shorten the clock. We're going to extend the 3-point line. Those things are going to happen, and that's all European.
That's all European.
It's all European, and I just don't understand.
The game is so much European now, right? The way it's played.
Well, they're trying to make it that, but you know, I was watching. I don't watch very much NBA, but for some reason I was watching, and Mark Jackson said, you know, there's just no really good post players anymore. And Jeff Van Gundy said, we've legislated them out of the game.
That's a good point. It sure is.
It's true.
Exactly what happened.
Legislated them completely out of the game. That's why there's no post play. Now, extend the lane, they don't have a chance.
I think, Hugs, that the game, not only has the game changed, and I know this is a sore point for you, but I'm going to talk about it. The refereeing in this game is unbelievable. Matter of fact, young lady here tonight walked in, said, Coach, did you see the women's game last night against Baylor?
Your wife was telling that story over at the table.
Yeah. And she got so infuriated at the refereeing last night at the women's game. And I said, you know what? We're going to have a little discussion with Coach Hugs tonight about refereeing. Why and how, over 40 years we've been coaching, and you played the game, basketball in college and high school like I did. You coached for the 40 years I did. The different eras that we've been through. How did this game, this great game that we coach and play, ruin by 3 knuckleheads? What's happened? What's happened? You know what's crazy? You can't watch a game without going to the video. Go to the video. Our NCAA game against Gonzaga, we're pressing and we got Gonzaga. Their tongues are dragging to the floor.
8.5 minutes.
8.5 minute timeout they get because they're viewing the video.
8.5 minutes is more than half of a halftime. That's how much time they got to.
How did it get this way?
Well, I think the biggest thing that happened is when we took away the official's ability to officiate advantage-disadvantage.
Go ahead.
You know, now you put your hands on somebody, it's a foul even if they're standing still dribbling. There's no advantage. So why would you call that?
Right.
When we took advantage-disadvantage out, Billy, that's
advantage,
in my mind.
No doubt.
That's when officiating started to change. And then we got people making the rules and writing the rules like this cylinder thing. This cylinder thing.
Explain to everybody what the rule is now about being in a cylinder and what happens to a player that gets in somebody else's cylinder.
Never heard it put that way, but
well, guess what? That's what they do.
Well, that's right. There is an imaginary cylinder around the guy with the ball. It's imaginary. And I said, well, how far does it extend up? They said to eternity. I said, damn, that's a big cylinder. So the cylinder was, they thought the game was getting too physical. I don't think the game was physical enough. They thought the game was getting too physical. So they didn't want me getting about any closer than what I am right now to Billy. But here's what I don't understand about the cylinder, and it goes all the way up. Now here's a really interesting thing. I can stand as close to Billy as I want from behind. I can get in that cylinder, climb in that cylinder with you from behind.
From behind, yeah.
But if you turn and make a basketball play, which is just turn,
just pivot, yep,
and bump into me,
yep,
it's a foul on me.
Yep. How about
because
that?
I'm in your cylinder.
You're in my cylinder. Yep.
Even though they're saying I can get up there, but I can't get up there.
Right.
Now, how are you supposed to officiate that? And I think the other thing that drives me more nuts than anything is why is the offense allowed to reach out of the cylinder and push people? I thought one of the great posts of all time, the fake Bob Huggins had and they had a picture of Mason from Kansas coming down the floor, stiff arming our guys away from him. And it was football Saturday, and they said the only chance Kansas has to win the football game is if they let Mason be the tailback because he has the best straight arm anybody in football.
I love it.
Which was true. I don't know. You know what, Billy? We had a guy on Monday. We had a guy on Monday night. So it's Monday night late, right?
Yep.
So now he has to get back to the Pittsburgh airport because he's going to officiate Tuesday night in Iowa in Ames, Iowa.
Was it porn star?
No.
Wasn't porn star?
No.
How about this one?
He was with him.
I'm gonna you hold that point. We got a guy in our league, Big 12. We get him one night. First time, one of the nights we have him. Huggy Bear turns to me. He said, "Billy, we're gonna start calling that guy the porn star." So
he had artificial tan.
He's got tan.
He got tan. He just looked like a younger Jay Jacobs. He had that fake tan stuff.
So anyway,
on.
he's our porn star. So it wasn't porn star.
No, it wasn't him. No.
Don't mention names.
So he officiates here, and then he officiates at Iowa State, and then he went to he did, I think, Oregon and somebody, and then he went down and did USC and somebody, and then he came back and did I don't know, like one of those schools in North Carolina there, the small Winthrop or one of those.
Big South probably.
He did that on Friday.
Yeah, Big South.
And then he comes back and does another one of our league games at noon on Saturday. So that's 6 straight days flying across the country and back. And then part way out, I think he had Oklahoma State. So then he goes from Carolina to Oklahoma State.
You know, but you understand why is this?
Because we have to let them.
They make how much they make per game?
$3,600 plus
$3,600. $3,600 a game, including women's referees. Same deal. So you see these guys on TV night in and night out at different venues across the country. I call the referees today. I go up to the guys that I know pretty well in the business. And I've got a pretty good relationship with a lot of the referees. I really do.
Kind of amazing to me, but yeah,
but I do. But
you
Hugs,
do, but it's
hey Hugs.
But it does amazing.
Pretty amazing, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
I knew all these knuckleheads.
Yeah.
But so the guys I know, I go up to them. I said, "You're not turning into a referee whore, are you?" And they look at me. What are you talking about? I said, "Well, hell, I see you on TV every night. You're like a whore that won't turn down the money." I mean, what the hell? You got to work every night or what?
Yeah. I mean, that's probably pretty good.
That's what I call them. See,
you call them whores because they screwed people, or
well, hey, can I tell you something? Both.
Yeah. Well, that's what I figured.
See,
I got a solution.
Yeah.
I got a solution. We have 4 regions that. The NCAA tournament, right? You got the East region, you got the whatever it is, the Southern region.
Like
you got both.
I know exactly.
So you got 4 regions. You have to officiate in the region you live in. You can't do this fly across the country, fly back, take a red eye. You can't do all that. You have to stay in that region. So that would cut down on their travel. They wouldn't be as tired. They wouldn't be. And then I think the NCAA, with all the money that they make off of these kids. I think the NCAA then should bring them all in-house. See, we have no control over them now because they're independent contractors. And so we have absolutely no control. You can't even really take them off of a game. The supervisor officials can't take them off of a game. So we bring them into the NCAA. We give them retirement. We give them insurance.
Right.
You know?
Yeah,
we give them everything that somebody would have
that
is making the kind of money that they're making.
Right.
And so you bring them in-house. Now you can control them.
Right.
Like people say to me, well, what's the difference between the NBA and college? Well, college officials don't answer to anybody.
Right.
In the NBA, they send them plays to look at immediately after the game's over with. They send them plays to look at, and then they have to go through the game, and every call they have to evaluate themselves, evaluate every call, and send it into the league office.
Send it back. Yep.
We can't do that.
Right.
We can't do that because they're independent contractors.
Well, the other thing too, the NBA referees, they're full-time referees.
Well, that's what we need to make college guys
exactly.
full-time.
See, our college guys. So Jack Smith refs a game tonight. He's a guidance counselor at a high school tomorrow morning. Or insurance, or most of them do insurance like Posey, cheats America with insurance. I mean, they're no different. They cheat people during the day, they cheat people at night refereeing. You guys are all the same. You're an insurance whore, Posey. Yeah, really? Gene Steratore.
He's a TV star now.
Yeah, he is a TV star now.
Yeah.
But his damn sister's pretty good looking.
His dad, I don't know.
Well, I do. She's pretty good looking.
His dad officiated when I played here.
How about that?
I mean, about every other game we had Gene Steratore and Dutch Shample.
That's crazy, isn't it? You got a good whistle that night, though.
Depended. It's kind of dependent. My roommate, my college roommate, was going to check in for me because the game was over with. You know, it was the last 3 or 4 minutes, or 2 or 3 minutes, and I'm bringing a ball to the floor and a whistle, and I'm like looking around like, what happened? He called a foul on a guy who was supposed to be guarding me, but he was 10 feet away from me. So I walk up to the foul line, and he said, "These are the most pressure-packed free throws you're ever going to have." I'm like, man, we're up 24.
Yeah.
He said, "No, if you miss these,"
because
that was back when everything was 1-on-1.
He was betting on that.
If you miss these, we can't check him in. His dad's my bookie.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
He said, "His dad's my bookie.
Ain't
You
no
better
doubt.
make both of them."
Hey,
I was more nervous than I was when at the end of the game. He said, "I'll never call foul for you again if you miss these."
Hey, Hugs, just so you know this, since I retired, think I'm having any fun, Hugs? Because I'm going to tell you something.
Billy,
We need to, now listen.
Billy, can I tell you something?
When you retire,
you cut a wide path.
I know it. Hey,
I mean,
hey,
it's
Hugs.
not hard to find out where Billy Hahn was.
Hey, Hugs. When you retire or you're done coaching,
Yeah.
Sonny Smith and who's that other coach? Down south.
Who does it with Sonny?
Yeah. His show.
I've been on a bunch of times. I can't remember. Well, Denny and Joe B. Hall.
Yeah, how long they do it?
They did it a long time.
Well, I think I'll tell you what. Let's just take a little poll tonight. If Hugs and I did a show together, would everybody come watch the show? Huh?
Yeah.
You want to be the straight guy, or you want me to be the straight guy?
No, I don't care. It's refreshing to actually do one of these things with somebody who knows something about basketball rather than Jay Jacobs.
How about that? Yeah, really, right?
Yeah.
How about
Jay, I think you were sitting there. Yeah. So Jay, one time, we're in the Big East, and there was a bad call, and Jay grabs his throat and starts like choking himself, and like, you know, you choked. He's telling the official.
Right.
The guy comes running over, is going to throw him out. You remember that?
Yeah, I do remember that.
And so I get up and I walk in between them. I said, that's bullshit. He wasn't talking to you. He was talking about our player. He wasn't talking about you.
Right.
I said, that's wrong. He said, he was? You're lying. I said, why would I lie? I don't even hardly know the guy.
How about that?
So he did. So Jacobs didn't get thrown out.
That's tremendous. We touched earlier on the point that Hugs never did anything that he wasn't supposed to do to get a player. Unlike,
I said I didn't cheat. I didn't say that.
Well, you didn't cheat. So let me just tell everybody something. So 12 years ago, he was out of coaching for a couple years. I was out of coaching because couple crazy things happened to both of us. We started to stay in touch with each other. And he gets the West Virginia job. Next thing you know, I'm working with him. He brings me with him. Now, I can honestly say this. I had never been Bob Huggins' assistant coach over my 30 years that I coached. I've known him, but I never worked with him. So I first got the job. I don't really know how he works his recruiting. So I went to see one of the first kids I went to see when I got the job here was a kid out of New York City named Lance Stevenson. Well, Lance Stevenson is a longtime professional basketball player now. And Lance Stevenson played for a guy named Tiny Morton?
Yeah, Tiny Morton. Yeah.
Yeah. In New York City. I went to see him when he was getting ready to start his sophomore year. Lance Stevenson was a great player, a McDonald's All-American. Everybody was going to recruit him. I went up to see him. I spent the afternoon with the high school coach. I met the AAU coach. I happened to casually cross streets with the father of Lance Stevenson. And after speaking to everybody, there was no doubt in my mind, being the most pretty intuitive guy that I am. He had his hand out. They all had their hand out. They all wanted to get paid. So wherever Lance Stevenson was going to go to college, I guarantee you the school that he decided to go to did a lot of stuff to help the AU coach, the high school coach, the kid, the dad. There ain't no doubt in my mind. So I come back. Now, I don't know how this guy works. So he says, Billy, what do you think of Lance Stevenson? I said, Hugs. It's a no-brainer. The guy is a first-round pick someday. He's an NBA player. He is a great player, and he's just going to enter his sophomore year. The guy is a can't-miss player. He said, well, let's recruit him. I said, well, I got to find out if you want to. I said, through being up there, the whole crew, dad, high school coach, AAU coach, everybody, they want to get paid. Hugs looked at me, he said, Billy, tell Lance Stevenson and his crew to go fuck themselves.
It was something like that. Yeah. Yeah, it was.
So, I knew it was great because I went home and told Kathy, I said, my man Huggy Bear is absolutely the best ever, Kathy. I told her the story. I said, now I know where I stand. Just do shit the right way, work hard, get your contacts, get people to, trust you. Everything else falls in place.
No, recruiting is it's a different deal, and I'm okay with people cheating. I mean, I'm not going to do it, but that's my personal preference. But I'm okay with just tell me ahead of time, so I don't waste my time. That's the thing that bothers me. We had a guy in that went to another place, and we thought we were going to get him. He'd come in here. His dad brought him in here like
I know exactly what you're talking about.
3 or 4 times.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
And they gave us every indication. The kid told me, this is where I want to be, Coach. And then he ended up a day later, he ends up somewhere else. And this dude is asking for stuff that's like, I mean, he wanted to get flown to the games in a private plane, you know. And I'm like, that's not how we do things, man. And when he said that, I said, hey, I appreciate it, wish you the best, and walked away. I mean, and I don't know how you can do that and have this guy at every game being flown around on a private plane. What do those other kids on the team think?
No doubt about it.
I mean, how can they have a good feeling about this guy? You know, so I just don't. I think there's a lot of reasons not to do it. You know, one is because, well, we're going to find out if his career ending or not here pretty soon when all this stuff is done.
Right.
You see what those guys got?
No, tell me.
Merle got 9 months.
Yeah, I did see that.
The other two got 6.
Now, we're talking about the FBI investigation, and it came out today that they're sending 2 guys to jail for how many years?
9 months.
9 months. Okay. Why did they only get 9 months?
Well, because that's just, well, I think what they're saying is that's just one of the indictments that they were hit with. They could get 9 months, maybe whatever, 4 or 5 times. So
Right.
they could end up getting, you know,
Right.
3 years, whatever.
This is what I think, Hugs. I might be wrong. I think because all the reports today said that.
The guy right there on TV threw me out.
Yeah, how about that? There he is. How about that? And he gets every game.
Threw me out, yeah.
He gets huge games. Huge games. But anyway, I think what happened, Hugs, is those guys, to save their butt, chirp like canaries to the FBI, and you're going to see a lot of crazy stuff happening over the time with basketball, and they're going to bust a lot of schools.
See, Billy, I don't know.
I really do.
There's one of the main guys they caught lying on the stands, and he was protecting a coach in a school. I mean, he's in deep trouble because he's perjured himself.
Right.
So,
but Huggy Bear, we're not going to name names, but I'll tell you, you know, and I know. There's a couple fine institutions across America that are so dirty. You don't even want to shake the guy's hand because you can't get the dirt off. You know, you could take a bottle of Ajax and a scouring pad and not get the dirt off your hand. And I'm not going to mention any names, but here's what's crazy. And this bothers me a little bit, Hugs. In our business, over all the years that you coached and I coached, you know who does it the right way and you know who doesn't do it the right way. And I know who does it right and who doesn't do it right.
well,
Why do we protect ourselves so much? Why do we let those knuckleheads continually get away with what they're doing?
Well, because the NCAA says you have to have proof. It's hard to trace cash. I mean, it's you know it's going on. I mean, you really don't know it's for sure whether it's going on. Like guys, for instance, if you lose a guy who maybe declares to the draft you didn't think was going to, and you go out and recruit the second best player in the country in a week,
right,
you're cheating.
You're cheating.
You're cheating.
There ain't no doubt about
You
it.
didn't turn his head and because you're only allowed to talk to him one day a week.
Right.
So you talk to him one time, and the guy decides he fell in love with some place is really not that nice.
Right. Crazy. All right. Here's the other thing is, 12 years I was Gary Williams' assistant at Maryland.
Mm-hmm.
And all the pro players that you've had in the NBA. And I went back this weekend. Maryland celebrated their 100th birthday, 100 years of Maryland basketball. And I went back. And all the pro players that were there. Lonnie Baxter, Juan Dixon, Steve Blake,
Joe Smith.
Joe Smith. I mean, go on and on and on. They all came back, and they all came back, Hugs, just like all your players, all of Bob Huggins' players, from Cincinnati, wherever he's been, WVU, they all come back. They all come back, Hugs, because Gary Williams and Bob Huggins, you treated those guys, you coached them hard. You coached them really hard.
So did Gary.
And Gary coached them hard. I know he coached them hard. But they all come back because you coached them hard, but you educated them. And you made them become men. And Gary Williams made those guys become men because you guys would not give them, you wouldn't give them a break. You guys made them do things the right way.
Well, you can't give them an out.
You can't give them an out, can you?
See, this is what's wrong. See, ESPN, did you see the guy with the different color shoes on and everybody else?
Yeah.
The green ones out there, they just zoomed in on his shoes. Come on. That's, you know, I'd tell our guys, hey, no, we're not doing that look at me stuff. You know, that's the only reason they put those on. But look, there he goes. Looks like he's going to a hopscotch tournament. Something.
He probably couldn't throw that stone in the square.
Just to clear something up, Billy wasn't the reason I didn't go to Maryland. There were a couple other guys named John Lucas and Mo Howard that had a hell of a lot more to do with it. When I found out you guys were going to get them, I'm like, nah, I ain't going to go sit on the bench for 4 years.
Huggy Bear says, Billy, I can't come here. He says, you guys got too many guards here. I can't come here. So you know what happened, Hugs? My freshman year, the freshman rule hadn't passed.
Yeah, I know.
You passed your freshman year?
My freshman year passed.
So you could play varsity your freshman year.
So
this is how lucky Billy Hahn's always been. So I go to Maryland my freshman year. I got to play freshman basketball. Well, I think every year, they got me in Sports Illustrated, Hugs. Sports Illustrated preseason. Oh, Billy Hahn. Average so-and-so on the freshman team. Little did I know that the NCAA would pass the freshman rule and freshmen could play immediately. So who do they bring in? John Lucas
and
Mo Howard. And the next year,
Bob Bodell,
and Brad Davis.
So
every year I was at Maryland.
That's 4 pros.
I would move down another seat. And by the end of my career, I was sitting on the goddamn floor because there wasn't even a seat there anymore.
I used to watch him on TV, and I used to try to look for you on the bench. Like, dumbass Billy, he shouldn't have.
Hey, you'll love this one. Tell you this, Hugs. So, guy named, you remember Howard White?
Oh.
Great player, right?
My
Great player.
My most vivid memory of my visit to Maryland is you guys had a scrimmage on Saturday morning.
Right.
And Howard White was really, really a good player. He's now the CEO of Jordan Brand. He's like the top dog, Jordan Brand. And Billy's out there, one-man full-court press. He's like, he's turning poor Howard. He's like, what are you, Billy?
I wore Howard out.
Oh.
I wore him out.
Yeah, and I'm thinking, man, I'm going to hit this guy in the mouth if I come here.
How about that? So, Hug says, I ain't coming here. There's too many players. They passed that rule. And I'm going, oh, my gosh. So I'm in Sports Illustrated. I'm looking good, ready for my sophomore year, and they passed the rule. I used that Sports Illustrated to wax my car the rest of the time.
Jap Trimble.
Jap Trimble was another one, yeah. Jap Trimble and Len Elmore played on the same high school team in New York City.
I know.
Boy, that was a great team.
I researched that.
Yeah, that's a great team.
Tom McMillan. cover of Sports Illustrated.
Pretty good player.
Number 1 high school player in the country.
Pretty good player.
Hey, we're getting ready to sign off here.
Already?
Well, you want to keep going?
No, I'm just.
You got to go somewhere? I mean, I'll stay do this all night.
I got to go home.
You do?
Yeah.
What are you going to watch tonight?
Iowa State.
Iowa State?
Try to figure out if we can score.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about Iowa State. Why, since we got a couple of minutes left. Iowa State comes in here.
Are you on a timer?
No, I ain't got the time.
I just asking.
Well, we can talk all night. Go ahead.
What do you want to talk about?
I want to talk about Iowa State a little bit.
I
About
think,
tomorrow night, what to look for,
well,
who we got to shut down, how we're going to play them.
I can't say how we're going to play them.
Well,
I think they're the most talented team in our league. And I said that in the beginning.
yeah.
When you got a guy like Wigginton who's not starting, that guy's a pro.
Pretty good pro.
Oh, he's a pro. I mean, he's
start.
not just a pro; he's a good pro.
Doesn't even start.
Shyok, who was at Maryland or at Virginia,
Right?
left Virginia because of style of play. He's their leading scorer. He's very good.
He made a good choice to leave.
Yeah, he's a tough cover.
For him,
He's going to be a pro.
yeah.
I mean, they got pros everywhere. I love the kid Nick Weiler-Babb.
Right?
Man, is he a tough dude.
He can play now.
He's tough and he's athletic. They're playing Halliburton, who's a freshman, who's very good. Horton Tucker's good. Michael Jacobson didn't play at Nebraska. He goes there.
Is that Jacobson's son?
No.
Not,
I asked that. No, he's not.
not Jay Jacobs. I'm talking about this other guy we know. It's not him?
Listen, this guy's 6'9". If Jay Jacobs had a son, he'd be about 5'2".
Ain't that the truth? Oh, my God. If everything stays as is in the Big 12 standings, as the way I look at it, we would end up playing Oklahoma again.
I don't know.
I looked at it right, Hugs.
I haven't paid any attention.
If everything stays as is in the first round of the Big 12 tournament, we would play Oklahoma. Now,
I'm all right
will
with
that change? I have no problem with playing Oklahoma again. I have no problem with that whatsoever.
I don't either.
We split with them during the season, beat them here. They beat us last week at their place. I sort of like that matchup. And then
I think it's either Oklahoma or TCU. No matter what happens, what we do or whatever.
I think it's Oklahoma. But
I think
anyway,
it's Oklahoma or TCU, depending on what happens.
and I like our bracket, Hugs, because I believe you win that game, and then we're opposite brackets of Texas Tech and Kansas State and Kansas, I think
if one of them works
we're
out,
in Iowa State side.
Iowa State and Kansas are on the same side. If everything goes the way it's supposed to.
Then Iowa State and Kansas would end up playing each other. I'm pretty sure. I don't know.
We got all those guys down in the GA's office,
Right.
down there, that crew down there. They've got it figured out.
They got it all
Everything.
figured. They do, don't they?
Yeah. Let me give you an unbelievable stat.
Yeah.
Our first 6 league games, we're 0-6. The average loss was 2.
How about that? Think about that one.
How do you lose 6 games that close?
Think about that. That's how close it's been. See, I visited with Coach maybe 3 weeks ago. I still go by 2 or 3 times a week because if I'm home all the time, I'll get divorced. I can't. I said, Kathy, I gotta get the hell out of here. Where are you going? I said,
Kathy just said true.
I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'm going to go to practice. So, about 3 weeks ago, I walk in. I said, Huggies, bad, isn't it? He goes, oh, Billy. I said, Hugs, you cannot even begin to even write a book or a story about what has happened this year to this basketball team. Now, you stop and think about what's happened with the injuries, with the players being dismissed. Just one thing after another thing after another thing after another thing. Hugs, you never had anything like this in your career.
No.
I know you haven't. I know you haven't.
Well, I've never had guys, they're in and they're out, and then they're in and they're out.
Right.
You know, it was just, we're so much better off now just because you practice with the same guys every day. You know, you got, and I'll tell you what else is good now. Again, the way it has been for the majority of the time I've been here. When I start talking, or Larry starts talking, or Ronnie or Eric, got 10 eyes on you. You know, they're listening. They're looking at you. They're listening. Before, you had all kind of little conversations, you know, going on, and you'd have to yell some bad words at them to get them to look at you, you know. And it's just an entirely different atmosphere in practice.
It's good for you. It's good to see you back at practice the last week. You're coaching again. You're having fun.
Well, it wasn't. I wasn't coaching before. I was just. I was. You end up fighting with people, and you can't get anything done that way. You know, it's guys not coming into play. You know, you got things going on. It's that you're dealing more with things and attitudes than you are with coaching them.
Right.
I mean, I mean, you've been there. I mean, if we do it long enough, I guess, you know, you run into some tough years, but this has just been no.
This is crazy.
No, you and I sat there before the season started, and we're looking at our team, and we both said, hey, you know, we got some talented guys. And
I was going across telling everybody, we're so deep and so good.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought we shot it better, passed it better. I thought we were better. Man, it turned out a disaster for me.
Well,
Everybody, and so because I took.
Hadn't done a lot for me either, by the way.
I don't think so.
No,
Probably not, huh?
No.
I bet you've been sleeping really good, haven't you?
No. No, I haven't.
See, that's the other thing people don't understand. How gut-wrenching our business is when you lose. Now, the wives, June knows, and Kathy knows. But, I mean, you can't sleep. You're grouchy. You take it out on everybody. At least I did. I don't know about Hugs, but I did. You know how many times my wife told me this year, she says, I'm so happy that you're not coaching anymore because you would be the most miserable guy ever. You would be so miserable. You'd be so hard to live with. You'd be so, I don't know if she used, I was never mean to my wife, but I wasn't very nice to her. I know that many times.
Well,
And it was because of the losing. It wasn't because of her. Crazy. What they go
well, and then everybody, you know, everybody's got to blame somebody, I guess. You know, it's and I mean, when we went through this to a lesser degree before, I mean, it's my fault. You know, I had they came in and said, you know, you need to get rid of your staff, and I said it's not their fault. It's my fault. I mean, I'm in charge. You know, if it doesn't go the way it's supposed to go, that's my fault. That's not their fault. You know, I'll deal with them. You're not going to deal with them. You deal with me. You're not going to deal with them.
Right.
I'll deal with them.
You fixed it too.
Yeah,
You fixed it.
Well,
You fixed it.
three Sweet 16s in 4 years isn't bad.
Here's what blows my mind, people. Here's what's crazy to Billy Hahn. This social media that we're now involved with. Do people have any idea how WVU, how fortunate WVU is to have this guy in the seat? Are you people crazy out there that I'm reading stuff on social media that the game has passed him by? Are you kidding me?
Well, there was a European.
That drives me. I'm astounded.
There was a European study that the 22-year-old woman down there in Fairmont, she had it all figured out.
She does,
I think they ought to fire Mike Carey and hire her because she sounded much more intelligent than Mike.
How about that?
I'm teasing.
I know.
I'm teasing.
I know.
But I mean, can you imagine that?
I mean, it's unbelievable.
I mean,
it's crazy. That's
I can't wait.
That's what we're dealing with.
I can't wait to see her. I mean, I can't wait to.
Hey, Hugs, one night I was going to do the show here, and that, what's that knucklehead's name that was on social media? That was his name. He had that funny name on social media talking about you.
I don't look at it.
You don't remember? You remember?
I don't.
What the hell was that
If
guy's
it
name?
wasn't for Jay
What was
Kuntz
that
bringing
guy's
it
name?
and showing it
What
to
was
me,
that
I would
guy's
never.
name? What was that guy's name? I can't remember his name. But I called him out one night in here, Hugs. I said, whoever you out there, have some courage. Have some courage and bring yourself into the show next week and show up and let's talk. He never showed up.
Well, no, you know what social media is,
Never
Billy?
showed up.
It's a haven for cowards.
Haven for cowards.
That's what it is. It's a haven for cowards, and so I don't know why you would. Some of the stuff, you know. I mean, if it gets personal, then it kind of does piss me off. But the majority of it is.
Take it for another grain of salt.
Some dude who hadn't had a job his whole life, probably living off his mother's retirement, and he's sitting there, you know, putting stuff on social media. That's who I want to believe, by God. I mean,
you got a question, sir? Question? Come on. Question?
I'd just like to say that social media began. I'm from St. Albans, and Coach, know that Kanawha Valley's got your back.
Well, thank you, sir. Thank you much.
If I can continue,
You go right ahead and continue.
when you look back on your coaching career, you know what's going to be very prominent in your mind? The kids gave you 3 overtime when you might as well say you were facing devastation. Everything that could go wrong probably went wrong, or did you miss a couple?
No, that was.
Didn't miss too much.
No.
Everything goes wrong, and here's a coach gets his kids back together and gives you 3 overtimes. That's coaching.
Well,
Thank
thank
you.
you, sir. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, one more. Go right ahead. Oh, go.
Talked about referees considerably.
Yeah.
Please take the
Billy brings that out in me.
to your rules committee.
Okay.
The referee system of game control is obsolete.
Go ahead.
The speed of players, the rules, obsolete.
Go ahead. I want to
This is
see.
a high school referee by the name of Kenneth Legg. Kanawha Valley, Oak Hill, great athlete in his day at Oak Hill High School, West Virginia Tech.
Go ahead.
Can you imagine a referee giving 55 years to high school sports and kids?
Wow.
You know, we had a guy like that in Ohio, Joe Pangrazio, who's in.
I've heard of him.
Yeah,
but he
all
was
the Hall
a
of Fame.
one-sport official.
No. He did football
That
and
guy
track.
did both football and basketball.
Football, basketball, and track.
And that's what Joe did.
So, Billy Bob, at appropriate time, I'd like to get a picture of you guys and a salute to this man.
Absolutely.
Be
We'll
happy
do
to
that,
do that.
when we're done. We'll be glad to do that.
Be happy to do that.
Not a problem. That's the first time I've been called Billy Bob in a while. I appreciate that.
Well, Billy, here's my final thing.
Yeah.
Here's my solution to officiating. You ever watch a tennis match?
Yeah. They got the person right
Right there at half court.
Half court.
Volleyball,
Doesn't move. Half court.
right at half court.
You want to set.
We're
one
worried
guy-
about attendance. You know, we're worried about attendance
Yeah.
too. So here's what I think we do, Billy.
I think it's a good idea.
We get guys like, you know, you and me when I retire, and we'll officiate the game from right there on that deal like they do in tennis. The only thing we need is it's hard to see if the ball goes out of bounds at the other end.
Right.
So you know how boxing has those girls go around and show like the thing? We get 2 girls on each end, right? With a flag.
I get to pick the girls.
With a flag, because that's what they do in volleyball.
Right,
They have somebody stand back there if the ball goes out, and so they stand back there.
Right.
And I'll never forget in Cincinnati this old guy who was one of the great guys of all time, and he said I about wet my pants that game, and I said, Bill, the game wasn't that close. He said, I'm not talking about the damn game. He said, I never leave until those dance team girls quit. He said, I'm telling you, they shake everything. He said, I just as soon pee my pants as miss it. So I started thinking about that. So, you put those girls down there and then you rotate them.
Yeah.
Because the people on the other end were mad they couldn't see the
Absolutely.
dance team. So they get a peek at all 4 of them.
Yeah, exactly.
That increased attendance.
I love it.
I think it's a great idea.
Well, remember to tip your waiters, your staff tonight. Green Turtle, thank you very much. Cliff, thank you very much for a great year. This is my last show for the year, and many, many thanks. Coach Huggins told me all year long, I want to come on your show, I want to come on your show. So every time I had a show, they always had a game the day before or whatever. He was always out recruiting. So this happened to work out tremendously because we play Iowa State tomorrow night here at home. So I knew he was going to be here on Tuesday. So I went up to him and I said, hey, boss, you promised me you wanted to come on the show. Well, guess what? You ain't going to be out recruiting Tuesday night. I know you're not. You got practice. And you got a late practice on Tuesdays. Because Tuesdays and Thursdays, they go from 4 to 7. So it worked out perfectly. Boss.
Really enjoyed it.
Love you, man.
Love you, man.
Love you, man. Thanks. Bob Huggins, thank you very much. Thank you, Green Turtle. Thank you, Dominion Post. And thanks for everybody coming out. See you next year.